Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where today we're going to do something that a lot of you have wanted for a while. It is time to revert my Lamborghini Huracan STO to its factory look. When I picked up this car, my first ever Lamborghini, the Huracan STO, the ultimate track beast, I had gone for something wild to say the least, but at the time we had the bright Viola Bast paintwork without any of the contrast accents. Now the STO is designed to have those lower parts in a different colour, and I went a little bit out of the box with the yellow accents we did at Topaz when it went for paint protection film, and those generated just a little bit of a discussion. Now, we had a refresh about 8 or 9 months ago, taking off the yellow and making it white, making all of the contrast accents in white, very much inspired by my friend James the Stradman, and in fact, even doing the wheels in gloss white to match. We also have our team van, the Telemagenta Transit, the Transit Custom from MSRT, which we did have with yellow accents and details to match with the STO. We then changed them to be white, including the wheels to be the same as the Lambo. We've got some extra logos on here at the moment as part of an event the van was at, but they've always matched. Don't quite know what we're going to do with that next though. Back over here, the plan then is to remove, well, all of the white vinyl. So we'll take off everything around the front, the pinstripes and other details, but firstly, we need to go and change the wheels. We're going to head over to Whoops, we'll fix it. With the center locks, I don't trust doing that here ourselves. We're going to change them back though to the satin black. So we need to get them off the car, tires off, repaint the wheels, then get them back on, bring the car back here, then get peeling to try and take off some of the vinyl. And there's one thing I'm not quite sure about, which is what's going to happen here, because we added the gloss black PPF over the top here to give it that stripe, as you can kind of do with ad personam. Yeah, we'll see how that's going to turn out when we start removing it later on. Step one then, before we head out with this, open up the Cofango, because we need to unplug the CTEC smart charger, which is of course tucked in here at the front. There is no easy solution for that on a Lamborghini Huracan STO here in the UK, certainly for the early cars. That was how they were delivered, needing clamps in the front. We can click this back down, and do you know what comes next? V10 startup. I tell you what, when you're crawling through town in this thing, it doesn't half stop everybody in their tracks, even if you're just trying to be a little bit discreet with it. I'm also far too low to be able to see over the BMW there, but we shall head out onto the motorway. Step one, we need to go around to Whoops. Actually, I'm going to pop this into manual just for fun, because we can, hey? Second gear. And you've probably noticed the car is absolutely filthy. I apologise for that. Been out in some pretty bad weather recently and in dire need of a clean. I mean, how is this the factory exhaust system? How was this homologated? How was this, like, you know what I mean? It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. There's something hilarious about driving something like this, and it reminds me so much of my original R8, the V10 engine sound. The same engine, the 5.2 litre NA V10, that's evolved significantly since, of course. Power up a decent chunk, but not loads. In the R8 it was, or my generation of R8, it was 525. In here it's 640, but I think that's pretty much the top. And we all know that the next gen Huracan is a hybrid. It will be a hybrid V8. It won't have this engine anymore. This is going to be a dinosaur, sadly. This will be the end of this kind of scream from a 10-cylinder Lambo. But let's get ourselves to Whoops, a bit of morning traffic, go get this dropped off, and start to take things from there. And go get the wheels changed back to black. Morning traffic jams. Gotta love them. Or not. Not the best. Can't really change that. I was kind of hoping, oh, that's funny. Number plate, I think from the Czech Republic on that Bentley Continental was COY SPURS, which is come on you Spurs. which is not good. Arsenal fans, much better. Sorry, Brad. Oh, the morning rush hour when you're in a Lambo. We've also got the Mach-E GT as our wheels to get around, because after dropping this off, we need to drop off 2 other cars for services as well. It's just one of those days with a whole lot going on, one after the other, and it takes the time it takes. It is what it is. Stop-start. Stop-start has pros and cons. More efficient, more V10 startups, but kind of obnoxious, because every time you do this, it's quite an aggressive start, as you'd expect from an engine like this. Anyway, it's going to take as long as it takes to get down here. 2 miles from Whoops, and the nav says 14 minutes. Great, great progress. There are definitely times when it would just be better to not have traffic. I don't know what happened there. The van cut our lane, the taxi pulled out onto the roundabout. It's all happening at once. But finally, we are arriving at the destination. Now, this process obviously takes a couple of days. So the plan is to drop the car off, leave it here in the safe hands of Whoops, and then obviously we will resume when coming back to pick it up, when not only will the car have a new look, but hopefully I will finally have sorted myself out and got round to having a haircut, which I clearly need quite badly at the moment. I've just been traveling a lot recently, so I actually haven't been here for a fair while. But let's pull this in, go get ready to go and say hello to the guys, and plan exactly how this is going to unfold. This is where we might have made the tiniest of very stupid blunders. The car obviously, or the wheels, have centre locks. To remove the centre locks, you need a tool. Where do you think that is? It's back at the barn. So we're going to go home. Brad's kind of going to bring that over later to be able to take the centre locks off. In the meantime, the guys will take this inside. They're going to be resprayed back to the factory colour, which is a satin black with quite a bright sheen to it. But obviously to do that, they need to be off the car. And to get them off the car, you need the centre lock nut. And Whoops. Whoops, quite literally. Whoops will fix it. Yeah. Okay, we'll sort this out. And then we'll fast forward, and as if by magic, we'll be back here and they'll be a different colour. We have jumped ahead 36 hours or so. I have had a haircut, looking a little bit less messy than before. The Lambo has some updates. Of course, standing right in front, looks exactly the same, because that is going to be our project for the evening, to remove some of the accents and then fully reveal the new look. But we're here at Whoops Will Fix It, because of course, we've had the wheels turned back to their stock OEM look. And I am sure immediately some people will be saying, black wheels, even with the white accents, it's just slightly less obnoxious and in your face, which is a touch better, perhaps. But I think the fun of this is trying different things and different ideas. Obviously, we've still got the yellow tied through to the yellow accents and things that the car has on the inside. But the next project is going to be to see how well we can get rid of some of this. And I'm not entirely sure how that's going to go until we get started with it, because around the lower sections, these bits are satin black. This is actually body coloured underneath. This is carbon. This is exposed satin carbon fibre underneath the gloss white, so it'll be cool to see what that looks like. Obviously the wing parts are all satin carbon as well, and we've got these pinstripe details and things that will pop off. So that means a cold start, because I suppose it's been sitting here for a couple of minutes, and then taking this back to base. Let's have this. Yes! You probably can't really hear me, and that's a stock exhaust on the cold start in the Lambo. Let's get it back to base and go get cracking on. We are heading on out. We're back with the Mach-E. We've got Shmuseum out there as well. I hadn't even noticed. Came along for the ride in the EV SUV Mustang. Enough of that for the moment. This car is still talking about the braking system. I think it just needs new pads. I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be, and it's going for service in a couple of days, so that will be the time to get that done. Anyway, out we go. Go get the V10 warmed up, make our way back to base, and then get cracking on with peeling off some vinyl. The STO is ready for us to try and do this. Now, my friend James, the Stradman, is always unwrapping his own cars under the sunshine in Utah. I've never done it. I don't think I've ever peeled any wrap off. Matt Armstrong certainly tries it as well. I figure we can give this a go. Over here, we've got some tools to help. However, before that, having used the Mackie a fair bit recently, the first priority right now is going to be getting this plugged in. So, let me just do this very quickly, open up this, get this plugged in. It's down to 30-odd%. We had a big run. We've actually done over 1,000 miles in this thing already, which is going very nicely. And if you need to charge at the rapid charges on the way out, it's more expensive right now than fueling a Huracan STO, which is an interesting phenomenon that nobody really predicted. However, it makes for effortless, pleasant, enjoyable driving. 250-odd miles of range in this. Super easy to charge up here with the C-Tech charger. And then back here, well, we currently have all our DeWalt tools, and we're very soon going to have a nice set of cabinets in this space. However, and conveniently right on top, we have one heat gun. We're going to use that for a little bit of heat. We actually have two, so I'll try and figure out where the other one is. We've got our heat gun ready. Cordless, which certainly helps. Good to go. We have so many amazing tools here, to which I have to say thank you to DeWalt. Let me take this over there and give this a go, see what happens. This is where we're going to start with end plates. I have watched Dub do this many a time. That's not particularly hot yet, but we don't want to go too hot because obviously we don't want to damage anything, but a little bit of heat certainly makes this entire process easier. So Brad and I are going to give it a go. We'll start with the end plates and things like these pinstripe details. We'll then probably try the roof snorkel, get that carbon revealed again, and then maybe attack some of the lower parts. Oh, you're on it. Pinstripe coming off straight away. The hard bit here is finding an edge that you can get it from. Yeah, that's the bit that I'm going to struggle with a lot. Getting an edge. Once you've got an edge, it's rock and roll time.
The battery dead?
Yeah, that's dead.
Press the button. Yeah, you chose a dead battery.
It would help if I had a fully charged battery. We do have chargers for that, but let me go and swap, get another one, and then try this again. This is better, although, as Brad has just been saying, you don't really need much heat. Luckily, this is all PPF'd, so that's not going to scratch anything before anybody gets too paranoid. Just kind of got to find an edge. Oh dear, taking off vinyl, flaking off in my fingers. This is going to take a while. This might take a little while. That's kind of fun. Shark fin. That was quite satisfying, wasn't it? I was just starting to get my first bit up. Oh goodness, there we go. There's like a pinstripe around the edge just to make it neat and tidy. When this was put on, I feel like this could take quite some time, but hey. Now is when I can pretend I've unwrapped something. But all I've done is taken a bunch of white off and it's still white. To do the roof snorkel, the easiest approach to this is to just pop off the engine bay cover, which in the STO, currently locked. The key to unlock it is down here in the footwell. You have this little 3D printed tool, which you do that, press that, and you do exactly the same on the other side, which I need to go around to do. And then there's like a latch, and it's a little bit complicated, but you can take this off. So released. You can't just leave it unlocked if you want, but I mean, car is left outside sometimes. So are you ready to help take that off? Yep. Give it a go. Pop, lift it up, latches on this side, I think. Is it this side? Where is it? There, got it. Are we off on both sides? Doo-doo-doo. Over the top we go. Done. That will be easier. And in the process, we get a nice view of a V10. Oh. Lovely. I feel like I'm achieving something. There's some carbon fibre being exposed underneath here. This is definitely a little bit harder than I anticipated though. I guess that is why we have the heat guns. Because with a bit of heat on this, it should in theory come up more easily without anything getting damaged. But we'll have to see how that evolves, because I do not have the best fingers for this. Finally, I've got a bit that's actually coming off quite smoothly. I say that, and then I've gone and made a total mess of it at the edge here, because this is where it's all like overlapped on top of itself. But we're starting to get some carbon fibre end plate. I say carbon fibre, it's actually satin black. I misremembered. So this is satin black, which will match with the lower sections. And then the snorkel is definitely carbon, because I do remember when we originally wrapped it yellow, the concept to me of hiding away some visual carbon fibre. But we did it, we went with it. It's looked good in the meantime. And for now, I'm sure plenty of wrappers out there are going to tell me this is a bad way to do it, but I'm a complete novice, I've never done this before, and I'm learning as I go. Okay, now I got to get the inside layer, so find somewhere to start attacking it from. I don't know if there's a clever way to get edges or not, but do you know what people do in these videos? What people do is they do like this, and it's done, which is definitely not working, or that. No, we've got to do the work. We've got to do the work. At this point, I realised I actually liked it white, and we should call Dub and get him. Brad's face was a picture and a half. You're like, no, don't you dare. Don't you dare. We're going for a new look. We're going to please all the people out there who hated the yellow and the white. You're now going to see what the car is like back to its OEM look.
Want a snorkel?
Yeah, nice. Wow, that weighs nothing. I mean, it's probably like $3 if you need a new one, but it weighs not a whole lot. Isn't that interesting? I don't know, that weighs less than my phone. That weighs less than my phone. I'm guessing that I'm slightly wrong and it's a little bit heavier than I said. I'm gonna guess 225 grams. And I've just been told it's 214. Not bad, not bad. I should weigh things for a living. One end plate done. Onto the second one. And it's exactly the same with working out, I think it's done differently. I don't even know. Basically, find a bit, start peeling, see where it ends up, and hopefully it goes black in a minute or two. The good news is that most of this is just coming off without even needing heat on it. I don't know how much easier it might make it, but I'm all right with how we're doing. It's coming off, making some progress, getting it done. Brad's got the snorkel, I've got the end plates. Learning experience. This has come off really quite nicely, just as it kind of snaps. Basically, I think the trick to this is slow and steady wins the race, because if you do it like this, pretty slowly and carefully, it all comes off, doesn't leave any gluey residue, and we start to get close, although the problem areas are like these bits, which are obviously really quite dirty right now from driving it out in the rain. In fact, the whole car needs a complete wash, but there was no point in doing that. Before doing this, we've just got to figure out how to get, especially under here, because it goes all of this bit. But we'll make it work. Working away at the front here. This is coming up, just takes a bit of time. Slow and steady, but we're getting there, bit by bit, revealing that satin black, and getting closer to the original full look that we're gonna have shortly. It's kind of funny because it's actually wrapped all the way around the back here, so there's quite a lot to try and work out. There's something exceedingly satisfying about this pulling off neatly. Gently does it, all the way. That was when it all went completely wrong. But until then, it was wonderful. Well, the front is now done. I say that, I've been using this little tool to try and get some of the difficult parts. I'm gonna have a look underneath because I wouldn't even be surprised if I've missed a bit somewhere. No, it looks all right. Looks all right on this side. It was all the way around the back here. There are a few bits of glue residue, which we're gonna work on afterwards. Shouldn't be too bad. And Brad, around this side, has done a lot of the side skirt already. Nice work. This is now the very last main bit on the entire car of full color, except I need to explain something that's a bit of a surprise actually to me. I didn't know that these lower parts that were wrapped, obviously yellow originally and then white, had actually been PPF'd. So this has clear PPF on it, except the two layers have been coming up together. So this is no big deal. The downside of it though is we need to just cut this and then have that one part re-PPF'd, which isn't too much of a nightmare. We can get that done easily. We'll just cut it and have a slightly untidy line for the moment because we don't want to risk this getting damaged if it doesn't need to get damaged. Interesting though, because it means on the other side, that panel, even though this is the thing, I know quite a lot about PPF, I didn't know that this actually has a layer of PPF on it until you start looking for the edges. We've got some small bits like here, tiny bit of black that we need to get out. You can tell it's not particularly clean. Need to figure that one out as well. It'd be nice to do some photos with the car looking as it is. But give me a moment, we'll tidy things up and then we will get a full shot of how the car is looking. Next up is to put this back on, which slides back in there. You can actually do this on your own, but it's a bit of a challenge. Are we in at the front of yours? Yeah, nice. Click. Bingo, easy peasy. Whew, tired. Before we get to the full reveal, we've now got a whole load of vinyl and PPF that we need to tidy up and get rid of and try not to make too much of a mess with. So that's my plan right now, to get rid of this somewhere, make one big pile, put it all together, and yeah, not too far away from being all done. I think Brad's decided he wants to wrap it again. We quite liked it with the white. This is not going to work. You've literally picked the dirtiest part as well from inside the rear wheel well. let's not do that. One of the last things to do is to get rid of the vignette, and you can carefully use a blade to make this a little bit easier, and then from there peel it off, or try and peel it off, but these things are made to be impossible and they basically disintegrate. Not the easiest. Then just to clean up the last bits, Topaz Car Care glass cleaner to the rescue. We can hopefully just tidy this up and make it nice and clean inside and all good. Last little bits that are left on there, get rid of those, and we are golden, looking nice. I've got to be totally honest with you guys, and we're about to have the complete reveal, because in the YouTube and social media world, every change to a car is always, oh my gosh, it's the best thing ever. And that's quite cliched, but I'm standing here, and obviously the car that you're about to see is exactly how it was on the day I took delivery. And I have to be honest about it, because I'm not going to try and hide anything around this, but I actually don't like it. I don't like it in Viola Bast with the black accents and the black wheels. I preferred it as I had it with the yellow, and I preferred it a lot more as I had it with the white wheels and the white accents. And you grow to these things for sure, but yeah, I mean, let's take a look. Let's reveal it. That's the new look, or the original look. I don't know how to call it. And that's what so many people have been screaming at me to do. Return it to how I took delivery. It looked so amazing when I took delivery, and I'm sure lots of you guys think this looks amazing. You know, the satin black accents that just tie in with the satin carbon and contrast against the gloss pink paintwork, to be completely honest, and the wheels exactly the same. But for me, this is a mad machine. It's supposed to be absolutely ridiculous. It's supposed to be out there, completely extraordinary and completely like just mad. And it certainly is. I mean, the paint color and the aero and things like the wing back here, it's not exactly discreet, and if you hear it, it's certainly not discreet. But I think it gave it an extra touch of flavor how I had it before. I think having the contrast accent made it even layerier. And I've told you a little bit of a lie when I've said about the original factory spec, because the roof is actually done post. The roof, the gloss black here, is actually Topaz doing gloss black PPF, because the quote to paint a contrast roof from factory is a big 5-figure sum. That was nowhere near a big 5-figure sum, and the end result is exactly the same. I like having the carbon snorkel back. I think that's cool, having that satin carbon, because obviously you've got things like the vents there and all the other areas of carbon. But, and this is some interesting things, by the way, If you have satin carbon, you have satin black mirrors. If you have gloss carbon, like here and at the front, you'd have gloss black mirrors. There are a few strange things that you don't actually spec. That's just how the car comes, depending how you order it. So I'm looking at this, and don't get me wrong, it's a cool car. It's a very cool car. But I preferred it with white wheels and white accents. I preferred it in Barbie spec. I preferred it even though I know not everybody loved it. And taste and colours and things is always going to be down to individual preference, for sure. I've got to say a huge thank you to Whoops, because their turnaround to change the wheels, firstly, they changed the wheels to white in the first place, and they've now put them back to the factory satin black, which is interesting because it's a satin black with a really bright sheen on it. So it's not just a simple change. It's quite a lot of work to get that done properly. They've turned it around amazingly. The guys at Whoops Will Fix It are legends for what they've been able to do with this, and fixing up various of the other wheels that we've had in colour changes over the years. I don't know what's next. I do not know what's next. I guess I'll get a feeling from you guys as to what you think about the Huracan STO. Obviously this year, Lamborghini's 60th anniversary, founded back in 1963, 2023. I've owned this. Get this, I've owned this car for over 2 years. Over 2 years. I don't know where those 2 years went, but here we are. So it's a new look for the STO. I might warm to it, but right now, as I said, being honest, I'm not the biggest fan. I am not the biggest fan. I'm standing at this thinking like, I probably should have left it white and white. Yeah, I don't know. Onwards. Maybe there's a decision to be made down the line. For now though, that is all. Thank you very much for your support. Do let me know what you think. I need to hear it from all of you guys, if we like this or if we think we should do something different. And if so, what? That's to be considered next. For now though, that's all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.